Boy, do we have some illusions to destroy today. And in this video, what I'm going to do is talk to you about probably what is the most important concept to talk about, period, and that is Ascension. Call it Ascension, call it the solar shift, call it the Age of Aquarius, apocalypse, whatever you want, but there are a lot of changes going on, okay? And these changes, cosmic changes, have been prophesized by many different religions, spiritual teachings, and not only religions, but it's also been calculated by many scientists as that there is some type of energetic effect, something that's going to take place around these years of 2012 to where we are now and where we are soon headed. So what I want to do in this video is connect some of these ancient prophecies to a lot of this hardcore science. And I'm going to go through multiple scientists and then link them all to you. So I'm going to try to talk fast. I'm not going to waste your time. And I'm going to try to not go off on tangents and rants. So first I will discuss with you some of the prophecies that have discussed this ascension or this solar shift that is essentially imminent, which is why it's so important to talk about. We all know about the Mayans. Their Mayans had their calendar that ended around 2012. Oh, why does it end? And of course the media made a shit show about that. The Bible, obviously. Apocalypse. What does apocalypse mean in Greek? It means to literally to uncover or to reveal. That's why they call it revelations. It's not about end times. It's about simply things getting revealed and a new age, a new beginning occurring. I believe the Quran said the same thing. They had the same archetypal themes in Zoroastrianism. The Hopi had their prophecies. A lot of people who watch my channel might like the Law of One text, another reference to these changes. Time wave, actually, that's an interesting one. Terence McKenna, the psychonaut, he and his fractal, right, he did some formulations with sacred geometry, fractal nature stuff, but his time wave theory converged at 2012. I know there's going to be a lot of stuff, so just follow along. Take the keywords I say and do some more research on it if you'd like. And then the Montauk Project. The Montauk Project, for those that like Black Project stuff, was a CIA project, I believe in the 70s, 80s time frame, where they took human consciousness, they took people who had good psi abilities and then had them try to remote view into the past and the future. Because, I mean, long story short, timeline, travel, alteration, seeing, all has to do with human consciousness. Anyway, when they would try to look into the future and get to around the point of 2012, the impressions they would get from the subject of the remote viewing would just come blank. It would, I mean, whatever screen or whatever format they used to see the visions would just, there'd be nothing. So it's very interesting. And it's simply just all centered around something going on, some new age, some new cycle occurring. Now, first scientists I'll discuss are these guys, William Tift and Harold Aspden. Dr. William Tift, quickly, he was a guy who did a lot of stuff in measuring what's called redshift. Now, redshift is how conventional astronomers find out how far away galaxies are, because they assume there's this like linear relationship in this redshift value that they're measuring. It's an electromagnetic something they calculate. I don't know too much about it, but they calculate this redshift and they assume it's how far away a galaxy is from us. He showed that to be wrong. He actually showed it to be quantum states that the galaxies would increase. They would increase in certain levels with their redshift amounts. And this would not actually show that these galaxies are, moving away from us. It totally threw that on its head. Harold Aspden, who is a huge physicist in Europe, he was the director of IBM's full European patent office for years, very renowned, but he took his idea of quantum redshift states, right, and put that into what he was doing. So what he was doing is finding out certain sacred geometrical relationships at the atomic scale. He would find how atoms are surrounded by this like cubical sphere, and they would be packed in to formulate matter based upon that. So when hearing about Tiff's idea that redshift is quantum, he's like, huh, right? Let's try to take the atomic scale and work it at a galactic scale, right? As above, so below. That beautiful cosmic law of correspondence. So Harold Aspin then calculated, well, holy crap, our sun, it has its own little space domain. And right now, it is literally moving into another. And that brings up a big, one of those little things that they tell us that are totally ass backwards. Because remember, right here, quick side note, that's why modern physics is so ass backwards and so just skewed, is because it's the foundations that are bad. And then they'll build theory upon theory with bad foundations. Okay, which is why it's they have a tough time understanding things. Things as simple as gravity, right? Ask a modern physicist, what is gravity? It's this force, and apple drops. But anyway, one of those little things that are wrong in the foundation of physics is solar system movement. So this is how we're taught in school for years and years and years, is that Sun, Earth, and Mars, and Venus, all the planets move in circles around it. I just have a really basic question that probably a 4-year-old could ask. Why don't the planets crash into the sun? If there is a constant pull of gravity, if gravity is what they say, why doesn't the planet end up just crashing into the sun that way? I don't know. It's because it's wrong. Here's how solar systems really move. And I'll link a good video down below about this. It's just super interesting to me seeing it. It's kind of beautiful to watch. As the sun moves, remember, what do the planets do? Move around it. Boom. The law of rhythm right there. I'm reading the Kybalion right now, so a lot of very deep wisdom there. But boom, it's rhythmic. As our sun moves, the planets move around it. And this is a big thing for multiple reasons. One is the creation of light and physical matter, which I won't get into here. But another is just simply because our star is moving into another region of space. Now I want to discuss Dr. Paul Laviolette. This guy is another awesome researcher. He has a couple books out. One is called Subquantum Kinetics, and one is called Secrets of Anti-Gravity Propulsion. He's the only one that's alive out of all these guys. You can actually still find some of his testimony on Project Camelot and the Disclosure Project. But he, along with researching the coupling between gravity and electricity and discussing Thomas Townsend Brown's research on that, he has also theorized about what he has called the galactic superwave, which is what kind of made him really popular. And very interesting theory in that what he found, by testing actually ice core samples, is that he found cosmic dust to be in these ice core samples at certain intervals. And he's like, how the heck is there so much cosmic dust, and at these certain intervals? Well, what he found was that gamma ray pulses emanate from our galactic center at these regular intervals. And he found that there would be major ones and minor ones, kind of depending on the astrological or the cosmic alignments occurring. So the major ones he found somewhat major ones to be every 13,000 years. And we are due for a big one now. So right now, we are at the convergence of many of these alignments, and we're actually overdue for one of these large waves. Now I'll bring some Hopi prophecy into the picture, just to kind of connect, to show you how, when you disassociate yourself from both scientific dogma and religious dogma, really the answers are there. The religion has the answers. You just have to look at much deeper levels than most people do. And with this Hopi prophecy, I'm going to literally read it out to you right now. I have a note. And it says, "And this is the 9th and last sign. You will hear of a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with a great crash. It will appear as a blue star in the sky, and very soon after this, the ceremonies of my people will cease." Now, why this is important is because Dr. Paul Laviolette, in formulating his galactic superwave theory, postulated that when this superwave hits the Earth, it'll start as a blue star in the sky, because those are the gamma rays, the cosmic radiation beginning to intercept us. it will then expand, and then boom, the radiation will hit. So he didn't even know about that. So that's just a direct kind of reference right there. Super interesting to me. And then my theory, tying these two in together, space domains and superwaves, is that, and this all has to do with torsion physics, ether physics, that, big topic to get into. I need a whiteboard like this big. Seriously, like my whole wall needs to be a whiteboard. It's planned for the future, actually, like alternate universities where we can piece this all together and learn about it. But anyway, what I think's going on is certain cosmic alignments are occurring, certain astrological alignments, and we are due right now, this is why 2012 is so big, is that because so many of them are aligning, is that the rotation of each of them and the torsion energy that each planetary and star body creates is syncing up, okay? That energy is traveling through the cosmic web, so each other to each other, and then, so yeah, as we move into the next space domain, it all aligns for that superwave to, right? It's like a tuning fork. Now I want to bring Dewey B. Larson into the picture, lastly here. And Dewey B. Larson was an American engineer and physicist in the mid-1900s who came up with essentially his own type of unified field theory, his own theory of everything. And apparently a lot of insiders, like secret space program whistleblowers, and even a guy who is working on the Montauk Project, an insider named Daniel, who I will link some research about this down below, but they've all said that Dewey B. Larson pretty much came the closest to a theory of everything that anyone has. And funny enough, Dewey B. Larson was actually best buds with Linus Pauling in school. And if you don't know who Linus Pauling is, he's won the Nobel Peace Prize for all types of stuff, but he actually proved vitamin C therapies are very effective against cancer. Famous health doctor. But anyway, it's really funny that him and Dewey B. Larson were best buds. But his reciprocal systems theory, just kind of a background on it really quick, was that he basically scientifically calculated how yin and yang operates, which is really freaking interesting. So he took gravity and radiation, and he said that they have a reciprocal relationship with each other, right? Gravity is that compressive inward force, and radiation is the outward force. So that's how gravity truly operates. It's not really, like I said over here, it's not what they tell us. Gravity is compression. Radiation is expression. Implosion, explosion, right? Law of polarity. Haha, like the law of correspondence over here. I've been reading that Kybalion. And then we have another reciprocal relationship between space and time and space. So, reciprocal. This actually legitimately explains time travel, explains the anti-gravity, explains the free energy, explains a whole freaking lot, which is, huge to kind of unlearn and relearn with. But anyway, the point I want to make with reciprocal systems in this is that, a lot of arm flailing, is that stellar evolution is backwards. So another one of those points that they teach us wrong in school is that, and one of the simple things is that stars don't evolve like they tell us. So in conventional mainstream astronomy, they tell us that stars start out blue, the blue stars are the young stars, and as they evolve, they turn into red stars and then blow up. But this is, again, ass backwards. Stars actually go from red to blue, because when this space dust starts swirling around and compresses, right, gravity gets stronger, and as gravity compresses more matter into the star that's forming, it starts out as red. Red is the young stars. And then the young stars, right, more stuff compresses. The stars actually get a little smaller, turns from red to orange, gets a little smaller, orange to yellow to white. As it gets to about the white range, that's when enough matter gets into the star where it starts expanding. It starts going into a blue star, grows, and then the supernova occurs. Supernovas are usually photographed as blue. Now think of it this way. This makes so much freaking logical sense that it's actually red to blue in stellar evolution, because think about heating up metal, right? A welder. When he starts heating up the metal is red at its coldest, and as the metal gets hotter and hotter, it turns into blue and then boom. So it just makes so much freaking sense when you think of it that way. Stars actually go from red to blue. And what he also found was that, again, stellar evolution is quantum. It occurs in leaps, not linearly. So, again, these two guys over here, whenever people start getting into like the ether physics or torsion physics, they always find it to be quantum. We live in a quantum universe. And what's happening right now is our sun, our star, is moving from what they call, I believe, a class F star to a class G star, in that it's going from a yellow star to a yellow-white star. If you talk to people that have been on this planet for longer than I have, I've only been on this planet 26 years, I've talked to people who have been around a while, and they've told me, yeah, the sun is changing. It used to be yellow, and now it's like white. It's bright. It's burning my eyeballs. Like, yeah, it burns mine too. Because it's getting hotter and warmer, and it's about to take that jump, that leap. And this brings a quote from Revelations into the mix, right? Again, tying together spirituality and science. In that, what Dewey B. Larson said is that, and I believe he might have said this too, maybe. I actually just came across all the space domain stuff within the last couple weeks. I've known about these for years, but came across David Wilcock's work on this, so go look at him for more on this. I don't know too much about it. Anyway, what he was saying was that when the sun makes its quantum jump, it's actually going to go dark for a period of time. And this brings a Revelations quote into the picture that I will also read to you. Revelation 6:12. I don't really know my Bible all that well, so that's why I need these notes. When he opened the sixth seal, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, is what that says. Boom. They're telling us, sun goes dark. Again, when it comes to like religious text, you really have to look like 18 layers deeper than most people want to. Because remember, whoever writes biblical lore, whatever Bible it is, they got to abide by free will. They can't give us the answers. You got to find the answers. So I'm trying to help you find them. So boom, star goes dark. And honestly, I think that the sun god dead for 3 days symbology, some people say that means like the sun during Christmas time staying at the same latitude for 3 days and then starting to rise. I actually think at the deepest level, that dead for 3 days theme, that archetype, is actually discussing the quantum leap our star makes. Because the sun god being dead for 3 days, right? That dead for 3 days could mean black, turning black, and then reappearing as a brighter, right? Being resurrected as a brighter star. So anyway, trying not to go off on those rants. Now to tie these three back into the picture for you guys. What's occurring with our solar system? Our star is moving into its next space domain. When we get to that bridge between the space domains, I think certain astrological alignments occur that sends off superwaves. When that superwave hits us, it essentially gives our star enough energy to then make that quantum leap. The star goes dark. What also occurs is that a magnetic pole reversal occurs on our Earth, and who knows? I mean, we can just speculate at what the literal foundational laws of physics would be, but that's literally what I think we're headed towards. The sun's getting brighter. I just saw a video a couple days ago of somebody, I'll even try to put it in for a few seconds here. Somebody had a iPhone, like a phone camera in Spain, and there was pulses going off from the sun. That's also what I believe these guys said would occur. As the sun gets really close to its quantum leap, its shift, it would start flaring. We're seeing the magnetic poles of Earth go way far, right? Just look into the where the magnetic poles of Earth are now. They are not over actual North and South Pole. I think the North Pole's over like Siberia, and the Antarctic I'm talking magnetic North and South Pole are over, it's out in the ocean, not even in Antarctica. And we also are seeing very large coronal holes on the sun. There's actually one facing the Earth right now, but the sun is getting massive coronal holes. We're seeing these coronal holes engulf even like a third of the sun, so a third of the sun is black almost. So that these are signs that we're very close. And then I think very soon that sun will be full black, and not only will it totally redo what the hell's going on in our solar system, but also have profound effects on our consciousness. And this is one of the biggest things to tie into all of this, is that cosmic energy, cosmic radiation, and this solar shift will profoundly influence our consciousness. And what I want to do in this video is I'm going to gift you guys down below from my Gaia account one of my favorite documentaries ever. I think you'll be able to watch it for maybe like a day or two, but it's called Solar Revolution, and it was produced by a German biophysicist in 2012. He was discussing all of this. He was discussing 2012 occurring, some solar shift happening, but this documentary discussed how it influences our consciousness, which is, I don't want to expound into hours about that here, but it would be very good for you guys to watch. So I'm going to gift you guys that video below. So I hope this wasn't completely over your heads, right? This has been my a crucial part of my last 6 years of research has been what's really going on here. And I'm putting it on a whiteboard and on a video for you guys, and it all centers around quantum ascension. And we need to get our minds right. We need to understand what's really going on here. Live a life full of love and service to others, attitude and compassion. And this is essentially what we are all headed towards. So we all need to prepare ourselves with all those things I just mentioned and understand what's really going on. So I hope this video helped you guys. Very long, but very important. So thank you for watching. If you've watched this point, share this information because it's extremely important, and get yourself acclimated to it, right? Check out the links, whatever I'm going to link down below, and do your own research, do your own thinking, my friends, because there's a lot of unlearning and relearning that we must do. Peace out.